Welcome to the Brutiful Game. As always, this is Blake here with Ferris.
Hola.
And Ron.
What's happening?
And we're ready to talk some U.S. men's national team soccer.
Ooh.
We have survived it a little bit. What else we covering, Ferris?
A little, very, very little MLS because there's only 4 games this past weekend, and then
NWSL
talk, which we haven't had in a little bit because of the Premier League. And
some great matches,
but it's getting down to the wire there. So
playoff slots are being decided.
Absolutely.
A couple already are decided.
2, yes, two.
So first off, some beer.
Dun, dun, dun.
And I should say also, we'll do my beer pick, but we're also going to have some beer news.
We're gonna Papa Ron's beer.
Papa Ron.
I don't know why I said
big beer news.
big beer news. Is that what you? Papa Ron's big beer news. I like that one.
That's what's happening. But first, our beer pick. So this is fun. This was given.
This is fun. We do a podcast talk about beer and soccer.
This beer is fun because this is from a friend that gave this to me. This is from, I'm going to do this a little different. I'll read who this company is first and then give the story of this beer. Ron is going to super dig this story.
Yes.
So the brewery in question, because you guys aren't going to know it, is Toppling Goliath Brewing Company. Started in May of 2009 with Clark and Barb Louie after months of dangerous experimental home brewing projects that claimed the Louie's garage. As the recipes gained favor with family and friends, they decided to build a small nano brewery on the hill in Decorah, Iowa. Brewing 3 times a day for almost 2 years on a half-barrel nano system led to a demand that could not be kept up with. When a 10-barrel system lost its home in Washington State, it relocated to northeast Iowa and became the workhorse of our brewery. Soon, it was incapable of keeping up with local demand. Today, brewing on a new high-quality 4-vessel, 30-barrel system and packaging on a new state-of-the-art filling line, the demand still outpaces supply, but not our eagerness. Our brews are distributed throughout I should say, I said Northeast. It should be, I guess is that Nebraska, NE?
Yeah, NE's Nebraska.
Yeah. And Central Iowa. And Southwest Wisconsin. Pleasantly quenching California Common Lager, refreshingly clean hop forward ales, bold double IPAs, barrel and wood-aged beers, and attention-getting imperial stouts have become the foundation of our quest to make big beers in small batches, which is their logo.
California Commons?
Although that is not the beer that we are having today. We are actually going to have one of their delicious pale ales. This is super cool. So first off, here's where it gets confusing. The name of the beer, we've talked about who's brewed it. The name of the beer, they decided to make their pale ales of a very famous resident of Chicago, which, is near Iowa, where they're set up at. And that's by the name of a certain Tyrannosaurus Rex named Pseudo Sue.
Oh, awesome.
And that's Pseudo with a P.
Yay.
And her home is in the Field Museum, or his History Museum,
right,
in Chicago.
Right.
Here's where this story gets cool for this Tyrannosaurus Rex. They decided to name this their beer.
They're 16-ounce pint.
They're a small, they're a small company. Field Museum hears about them using the name Pseudo Sue and feels that there's a trademark infringement. Here's an article from the Chicago Tribune by Josh Noel. This is from this past December. A big dinosaur is bringing one of the nation's most popular craft breweries to Chicago. The Field Museum announced Monday that it is teaming up with Toppling Goliath Brewing Company of Decorah, Iowa, for a series of projects that will include at least one beer made collaboratively with the museum. The connection between one of Chicago's great museums and a small Iowa brewery with lusty following? It's Sue the T-Rex. One of Toppling Goliath's most popular beers, Pseudo Sue Pale Ale, bears a label with a depiction of the Field Museum's most famous resident. The Field Museum's Director of Business Enterprises, Megan Williams, said she was potentially concerned about a brewery using Sue's image. But early this year, after reaching out to Toppling Goliath founder Clark Louie, they realized the two parties should be working together. With Toppling Goliath planning to begin distribution in Chicago by spring of 2017, gents, we're getting this before, or right around when Chicago has finally started to get their stuff. Louis agreed it was a natural fit. Future Pseudo Sue packaging will include a reference to the Field Museum, he said. The partnership will temporarily make the Field Museum the only place in Illinois to pick up Pseudo Sue or any Toppling Goliath beer as of January 25th, 2017. At least one collaboration beer between the brewery and the museum is in the works. Maybe it'll be something with a rare yeast that the scientists have isolated on a hop species that's been around for 1 million years, Louis said Monday. We'll send our creative team there in January, and we'll hope to get to work. I hope we have one of our top wow type things that come up with this. That
That is awesome.
is
Pretty cool.
amazing.
That's pretty cool.
So they've actually, the museum, Williams, the business manager of the museum, said they've been building a beer program for the Natural History Museum in recent years. So that's why they sprung off this idea of, well, let's hold off before we say let's get upset about using pseudo-sue. Let's make a partnership. And she wants to bring education through beer, Williams said. When you're learning by tasting an ancient beer recipe, not just reading something, that's another mechanism for experiencing a culture. It's a fun way to reach a demographic that museums traditionally have a harder time reaching. We need to go to Chicago, gents.
That is awesome.
For a field trip to the Field Museum. This article's on the Chicago Tribune. If you just search pseudo-sue pale ale, it'll pop up there for you. And I'll throw a link to the article on our website so you can take a look at it. It gets better.
There's more?
If we step over to Beer Advocate, currently the Beer Advocate rating 99 for this beer.
Wow.
So this brewery literally has become a popular, huge sensation in the craft beer world, but it's a small brewery, so we can't get it.
We usually can't get it down here.
Here's the local connections, gents. This was brewed here in Florida. This
Brew Hub?
is through the Brew Hub, which is an organization.
You said Lakeland, right?
It's in Lakeland. They do contract brewing for companies like Toppling so that they can actually get their beers distributed in larger places throughout the country.
Right.
So this is made
That's
exactly
cool.
to their specifications. They got to sign off on everything. So this is the beer. As it says on here, the single hop pale ale showcases the citra hop for a well-balanced beer that is delicate in body with a mild bitterness in the finish. Ferocious hop aromas of citrus and mango give a refreshing taste that is bright with just enough bite. Brewed by Toppling Goliath Brewing Company, Decorah, Iowa, under special agreement with Lakeland, Florida Brew Hub.
That is awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty darn cool.
Yeah.
Think about how many states this beer comes from, and not necessarily in recipe only,
Right.
but like
And
that is so cool.
Not for nothing, we might be some of the first folks in Florida cracking this open, because this beer was given to me by a good friend who used to be a brewmaster, one of the brewers at Brew Hub, who is now the brewmaster up at Lancaster Brewing Company in Pennsylvania. We'll get to his beers soon, because he also gave me some fun stuff of his. So he went to go visit his friend on a Florida trip. He came down, visited us, we went to the parks and stuff. And when he went to Brew Hub and saw some of his old buddies, they gave him some of this. So this is just hitting the Florida area right now. I don't even know where we could check Total Wine and see if it's there.
I don't think I've seen this there.
So we are trying it first.
And the can is super
man.
cool. It's got a gigantic T-Rex eating the words pseudo-sue pale ale. And the words pseudo-sue are kind of like in carved stone on it. It's pretty cool.
I just love the museum was like, whoa, that's ours. You can't use that. And the business manager's like, wait, I love beer. Stop.
Right.
What can we do
Let's figure
to get something
yeah.
out of this for everybody? That's
Right.
awesome.
That is pretty cool.
That is wicked.
So yeah, I'm very excited to try this guy, the pseudo-sue pale ale. Oh, and what's cool, all the cans have the Field Museum from Chicago. That is part of the deal. Spam right on all the cans.
Which is
Brewing up history
great.
with the Field Museum.
Yeah,
I
that's
like that.
awesome.
Pretty cool.
All right, shall we? Ooh, I'm taking it right out of the can. It smells
Are you?
so good.
I'm gonna pour it out so we can see color.
Oh man, those citra hops.
Ooh.
Floral.
Man,
Damn. And that's a high rating on Beer Advocate. I didn't check the rating, but oh man,
What is the
this is delicious smelling. I love the art too. The green and purple coloring of the dinosaur. It's got a cool like throwback, like
yeah,
four color comic book vibe to it, which if you look a lot of the, if you go to Toppling Brewery, or Toppling Goliath Brewing Company online, their website, you'll see actually comic book art is a very much the vibe of their can art. Ooh, that poured very nice, Ron.
It did indeed.
I mean, that's
Ron,
like picture perfect.
What does it have?
A lot of hops.
Oh, and good head retention.
There you go.
That's
That's
what
what
I'm
I
looking
was
for.
waiting for there.
Yep, that beer looks delicious. Shall we, gents?
I think we shall.
Let's do it.
Cilantro, boy.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Ooh, slap your mama. That is good.
I would never.
Nice.
But that is damn good.
Yeah. Whoa, man.
That is a really good hop profile.
To be so hop forward in its aroma, it's not very bitter.
No, not at all, but very hop flavorful.
Oh man,
Very like light finish.
yeah. This is.
You know?
I think I was with that smell. I was expecting a much
Yeah.
harsher kind of IPA. Although this is a pale ale, so I'm assuming it's kind of more of an American pale ale style. But it's not super malty either.
This will not get you calling dinosaurs the next day.
No. But it's got a nice straw color to it. Looks good.
What does that mean?
Okay, so let me explain.
Wait. Yeah.
Calling dinosaurs?
Calling dinosaurs. Right. Okay.
I think I agreed to something.
Yeah,
and then
you went with it. You went
my
with it.
brain then went, wait, stop.
Some of
Blake.
you at home probably going, all right. So in college, this is where I heard this.
Oh, good.
This is where all good stories start.
All right. So calling dinosaurs, okay? You have too much to drink, you have some bad food, something like that. He says, I've been up calling dinosaurs all night.
Oh, because you were like,
So what sound do you make when you puke? You know, or something along
and you
those
are
lines.
hanging onto a toilet like a
Right.
T-Rex.
So then, when you're throwing up onto a toilet, how are your hands usually? Like a T-Rex, and you're and that's sounding like a dinosaur. So it's calling the dinosaurs. So we were in college one day, and we were doing something the night before, and my buddy comes out and me goes, "Man, I just called a Stegosaurus, a Dilophosaurus," and I'm like, "What?" He's like calling dinosaurs. And I'm like, what the hell does that mean? And he explained it to me, and I went, I'll be darned. You're absolutely right. So ever since then, it's, what'd you have to eat last night? I had some bad chicken, man. I was calling dinosaurs all day.
Amazing.
Calling dinosaurs.
This will not have you doing that.
No.
Unless you have like 30 of these things.
This is delicious. What was the ABV, though, out of curiosity?
I couldn't find it on
It's
the
not on the
I couldn't
can.
find it on the can.
It might be right
I'm
here.
going to say it's like less than 6 1/4.
Yeah, I'd go like 5.5 or something.
See,
Does it say it on
that's what I was just checking. I was just checking the website to see if it had it on there. 5.8.
Oh, I was close.
Yep. Man, I love the description of
Really
this,
smooth.
of the ferocious aromas of grapefruit, citrus, mango, and evergreen. Delicate in body with a mild bite in the finish.
It's pretty accurate.
That is, yeah. Sometimes these descriptions, I might have put them in different words. That is perfect. Like that's spot on to what this is.
I agree. Good choice.
So here's to hoping we get some more from this brewery distributed
How
down
many
here in
more of these
Florida.
bad boys you got over there?
They are pounders, so I only have one. We'll have to split the last one. Maybe we should have got glasses for everybody. Well, I was not thinking ahead.
Yeah.
I have one.
A glass?
Ron's got a glass.
We're just going to do it out of the can.
But if we get low, or if I need to get the rum, you guys let me know. Arsenal didn't play this past weekend, so I don't feel the need for rum, though the U.S. men's national team did make me think twice about it. But before we get to the U.S. men's
Although
national
hate cake
team,
has caught on.
hate cake is
That is the, what do the kids call it nowadays? The trending hashtag on
hate
Twitter?
cake has gone viral. But before we get to the soccer news, Ron, no, what was it called again?
Papa Ron's Big Beer News.
Yeah, big beer news.
All right. So I was
Sorry,
flipping,
I've just thought of that. It's such a dumb title. It makes me laugh. I'm sorry.
flipping through the beer news like you do. I came upon a moral thought experiment, if you will.
Oh, wow.
Mm,
This just got
scandals.
Scandal.
I don't know.
Well, maybe.
Yeah.
All right. So rate beer. I'm sorry.
Ooh, I think I know where you're going with this. Go right ahead.
Okay.
I think I may have seen this too.
So, Rate Beer is a excellent website that is much like Beer Advocate and a bunch of the other hop forward
But they are the big two.
Yeah,
Those.
I-
Beer
I-
Advocate and Rate Beer.
Right beer.
Yeah.
I think we said them.
and
Both
they
on
review
pod.
beers, and it's entirely a platform driven on the opinions of all of the people who use it.
Normal folks.
Right.
It's just normal
So
folks chipping
you,
in with their
me,
reviews. Yeah.
the guy next door, all writing down what they think about beers. A man named Joe Tucker is the founder of Rate Beer and has been running it ever since since he started it. It's been him and his wife, and it's been a labor of love and sweat and just constant
Calling
work.
dinosaurs.
Constant work to keep servers up and adding servers and all that kind of stuff. And it was announced by a letter from himself on his website. Today, and I'm quoting this, today we're announcing that ZX Ventures has purchased a minority investment in Rate Beer. The focus of the agreement was on maintaining Rate Beer's value as an unbiased beer authority, retaining our operational independence, informing a whole new group of global consumers, and keeping them excited about beer. So he essentially, needed some money and needed some infrastructure. So this company buys a bit of a stake in it. Here's where the mind experiment comes in. ZX Ventures is essentially Anheuser-Busch InBev's tech-friendly growth division. So InBev, Anheuser-Busch, we all know them. InBev is the largest beer distributor on the
The
planet.
Belgian company that bought Anheuser-Busch.
Correct.
Right.
So this company, InBev, that distributes the most beer on the entire planet, owns Anheuser-Busch, now has a stake in a website, a social media platform that influences opinions on beer. So you can look up this guy's article and read, all of the stuff that he has done to keep Rate Beer afloat and get it where it is, and the sweat equity and the love that he and his wife have put into this. And I can understand how he would need some sort of influx of cash to keep it going, because at some point it just grows past what he can deliver.
Sure.
Right.
It's the problem is who's purchasing it. Is it, even if it's truly still unbiased reviewing, perception is reality, and perception will be, well, they'll be nice to all the Anheuser-Busch stuff now, or any InBev stuff.
Correct. So here
And some breweries, from what I'm seeing, have already backed out of having their beer.
Hold on. This is where I'm going.
Sorry.
So one of the most famous and probably one of the first popular craft beer breweries in the entire country, Dogfish Head.
The guys who really put the weird in craft beer early, before
Correct.
craft beer was huge.
Didn't we have one of their
Yeah. Because they
breakfast
put
beers
the
on
they put the
yeah.
scrapple.
Yep.
The Scrabble? That was.
And I'll still say I appreciate the ingenuity, even if I don't always like every time I have
not
it.
as a third beer
Yeah.
after we've had pork slap and whatever the hell else we had
Oh,
before.
right. And Ron had been calling dinosaurs the night before.
And so
Yeah.
Ron didn't have any of us, and you and me slugged our way through it. It was
That is
brutal.
very true. So their founder and one of their beer masters, Sam from Dogfish Head, wrote the following excerpt. We were troubled by the announcement last week that ZX Ventures, which is fully owned by the global conglomerate Anheuser-Busch InBev, has purchased a portion of Rate Beer. We believe this is in a direct violation of the Society of Professional Journalists Code of Ethics and a blatant conflict of interest. The SPJ's Code of Ethics includes a section called Act Independently and includes the following guidelines. Avoid conflicts of interest, real or perceived, disclosed unavoidable conflicts. Refuse gifts, favors, fees, free travel, and special treatment. And avoid political and other outside activities that may compromise the integrity or impartiality or may damage your credibility. He goes on more and more and more. But he basically says, we're really disappointed in the fact that this Anheuser-Busch InBev can now greatly influence the opinions of other people by not posting ads or not posting opinions that are condemning of their beers, no matter which ones they are, and only promoting compliments about their beers. So Dogfish Head, among a host of other beers, pulls out and asks Rate Beer to remove all of their beers and opinions of their beers from their social media platform. So this is actually pretty big news.
That's a brutal hit to Rate Beer, because Dogfish has a ton of variety of beers that people look up Rate Beer to find out, which means now when you look up a review for Dogfish, it's going to direct you to Beer Advocate.
correct. Or right. Well, Dogfish will send you to Beer Advocate. Yes.
But I mean, Google will, because it won't exist on Rate Beer, is
Right.
what I'm saying. Even just a cursory search of it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess the moral thought experiment is, why do you say yes to this deal instead of finding other places to get that money? Considering the craft beer revolution is huge, why do you go with Anheuser-Busch InBev and not look for some other venture capitalist that will,
By the way,
go for it?
and I did have curiosity, just typed Dogfish Beer Review. Beer Advocate is the first thing that pops up.
Right.
Just
And-
even on the search.
And they aren't the only brewery to back out.
Nope.
Harpoon, Black Project Ale, Prison City, and the Holy Grails of Belgium.
It is effectively
Killian have also
made
backed
it
out.
irrelevant, because if the point is to because you could find any beer on there,
Right.
they've made it. And what sucks also, what's the impetus for Beer Advocate? And I'm not accusing them of this, but it's the whole competition thing to get better. If more people just go to them out of that period, you know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
I mean, look, it's a dude that started a business. We just talked about this. We were hanging out at World
Yeah,
of
we were
Beer,
talking about some
talking about
local
Funky
breweries,
Buddha, just
yeah.
selling to, I think, InBev as well. I don't know if it was InBev or it was Coors. Anyway, they sold to a big, and it was the same thing of, happy for the guys that started it off, because they get a paycheck for the hard work that they created. I mean, it's like the American dream. I don't begrudge the guy for this, but here's the thing. You didn't say a majority stake holding where they buy it outright. It's a minority.
Correct.
So you are getting money, which is, hey, cash is cash, but it's a minority stake that might hurt in the long run. And I don't know if he thought that out. It's a shame that you couldn't go to someone like a Time or like a Newsweek or somebody who's like looking for more places to diversify, because, magazine, an entertainment company like that, where you'd be like, hey, do you guys want to get in on this? Because then you are, I say purchased by like a journalism company or something. So you don't have you're still
Right.
trying to abide by that. I will say part of Sam's problem from Dogfish that he brings up, and it's what people said. I don't know that you can call his wording of a conflict of interest as violating the journalistic standards. Rate Beer never said that they were beer news in journalism. It's not. And I saw a lot of articles where people were like, well, that probably wasn't worded great. Impartiality, yes. Like you now don't look impartial, or the perception is not impartial. I don't know if journalistic integrity applies this, because that's not. They weren't journalists. Do you know what I mean?
I
They
don't
weren't
know.
like carrying beer.
That could go
news.
either way,
and
because
I'm sorry,
they-
real quick. It was Constellation Brands Company. They are a Fortune 500 company. They produce and marketer of wine, beer, and spirits is the one that bought out.
Oh, Funky
Funky
Buddha.
Buddha,
They
yeah.
make Corona and stuff.
Corona,
believe so.
Yes.
Negro Modelo.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sorry,
They're
I
like
mean,
one of the
I just
top
wanna get-
three.
I just want to get that correct.
I-
They're a Fortune 500 company.
The only question I have is because Rate Beer also did essentially news articles about new breweries coming out, new beers you should try. And all of it was kind of op-ed, but they did a lot of those kinds of things. If you subscribe to their email chain, they would constantly send you like, hey, check out these new breweries in Georgia. Check out these new breweries in Florida. And they would report on them, their growth, what their famous beers were, that kind of thing. So I don't know. Is it two sides of the same coin? One is the social media platform. The other one is for more or less a reviewer, which is, I don't know.
I think it plays more to it's people sometimes get into craft beer and soccer and maybe some other stuff because it's kind of maintained on a small scale and not bought out or not owned by like Disney or Sony or just not owned by a big company. It's a smaller brand and people almost like to buy, support and kind of get on the bus early with
Rate
those
Beer
smaller
has helped
brands.
craft beer. When people didn't know what something was, they could look it up.
Right.
So yeah, if you are being owned by big beer, even if it's
Kind of,
minority,
yeah.
you Bear Republic, another one of my favorite breweries, it looks like they bailed too.
It's just an interesting kind of dilemma because the whole, as you were saying, the whole point of the craft beer revolution is because it was, in the beginning, it was small batch. It was exclusive. People liked learning about beer. The beer snobs really thought they were elitist because they were drinking this kind of beer. And Rate Beer kind of helped, along with Beer Advocate and a few others, really helped pull craft beer up by their bootstraps to get them to be, 4-5% of the total market share of beer, which is huge considering it was
less than
0.1. It was 0.1%.
Yeah.
10 years ago. So that's huge. And for Rate Beer to quote unquote, I don't know that it is, but for them to quote unquote sell out it's really interesting. I understand that the guy needed money to keep it going and better infrastructure, and he couldn't continue to code and do all of the app stuff and all the stuff that it takes for that social media platform to be up 24/7.
You know who he should have gone to? Who owns Untapped? Maybe I would have talked to those people.
A partnership with them.
And and again, I don't know, maybe that's a conflict of interest. I don't even understand. I don't even know. I don't know who owns Untapped, but there does seem other options. Although these folks would probably show up with a ton more money.
Shark Tank.
I mean,
you know who they should have partnered with?
Who's that?
Nachos eating nachos.
Nacho Ian Nacho's Nacho Shack.
Get your nacho
They'd
sack.
be rolling
in the nacho goodness.
tons of it.
Yeah,
all the time.
it's tough. I mean, I do feel for him in the whoa, I never said I was a journalist, because I don't think that's how he ever thought of themselves. But it had become like this sort of, I don't want to say impartial. Anybody, you could put a review up, Ferris, and maybe you met a brewer you don't like, and it's impartial out of, these are all regular people. So these are the reviews you're reading. And now, because we don't have public access to the algorithm, you don't know what's curated and what's not.
Right.
And I think it's one of those things you just try not to jump to any conclusions yet. And let's see what happens.
Sure. But I
Let's
do
see
think
if
they're
they
gonna,
just bought it just to finance it and kind of keep their hands off of it, and see if it remains the same in content and everything else. Or if
the problem
they
is,
do
though,
come in and they...
it could be too late, though, because all these companies that have pulled their beers
Right, but-
off of.
I mean, did they jump the gun a little bit?
I think based on how aggressively big beer companies try to purchase the little guys out, I think they know they have to be big, vocal, and attack first, or they'll get swallowed. Because the InBev has more money than Dogfish Head will make in 10 years. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like in this month.
But they're also doing the covert action where they're buying breweries.
They didn't announce they bought Funky Buddha.
Correct.
Well, NBev didn't buy Funky Buddha.
Well, no, but I mean,
Yeah.
when a big company buy, they didn't announce. We bought
Goose
Goose
Island.
Island. They
Yeah.
don't announce it.
Blue Moon
Yeah.
is all Anheuser-Busch.
No, Miller Coors.
Oh, you're right.
Miller,
Sorry.
Or Coors Miller, or whatever. Although, did they get bought up? I don't even. It's
So-
such a small top.
It's so quiet.
Like, yeah, because they don't want to make the Funky Buddha backlash was bad. People were like, well, you guys can't be jerks. Those guys worked hard to get their thing created. And it's true. And Goose Island still makes a fine beer or whatever. But if I'm out and I see Goose Island and Funky Buddha and this, Toppling Goliath Brewing Company we're just trying to hear from Iowa, even though I'm from Florida, I'd rather try that guy than the Funky Buddha that's quote unquote Florida, because I'd rather my money go to that guy or gal.
Yeah, and it's just buyouts happen all the time in business.
Yeah.
It's in a way almost a compliment that buyouts are starting to happen with craft beer and craft beer sites and breweries, because big companies find profit in it. Why they do it. I mean, but it happens all over the place. I mean,
the problem too is the history, because what's the Dogfish's most famous beer that kind of got them their quote unquote weird beer, which isn't even that weird nowadays, was their pumpkin beer. They were the guys that kicked off the pumpkin beer craze way back when. And and pumpkin beer, whatever it's called, Anheuser-Busch shortly after, a few years later, made their own called Pumpkin. And they're like, you're using our name, and sued Dogfish Head, even though they came later.
Anheuser-Busch had a pumpkin
even
one for a
though
short period of time too. Yeah.
that Dogfish was first, Anheuser knew that even if they lost the lawsuit, they can sit in court longer because they've got more money and bleed out the little guy. So these little guys, even guys like Dogfish, who are quite big for little, they're like ready to fight because that's what's been happening to them up until this point.
So here's an interesting little add-on to this. Samantha Roth, who is a ZX InBev Anheuser-Busch spokesperson, says it's really insight into the consumer trend. It's a better understanding of the beer consumer and beer markets globally. That's really going to help. That's really going to help us kind of keep our finger on the pulse of the beer market.
Here's also something that's confusing. Anheuser-Busch InBev's recent commercials of tired of staring at a pumpkin pomegranate saison, get yourself an American lager, which is bizarre when they are buying craft breweries and then make commercials that are like, look at this stupid frou-frou beer, have a bud.
I think that's
I know
that's like big oil buying up
solar farms or something. Yeah,
because they shelf them, shut them down, and then they don't worry about them again. Because soon, if they buy enough of them, they'll whittle the market down to be
like, I don't know, but let's say they buy Ferris, Blake, and Ron's brewery, and they go, their brewery, the Brutal Brewery, they got that great American lager, but we already make that. So let's stop making that, even though that's what made them famous. They were a craft brewery that did American lager. Let's just cut that. But every now and then they did weird stuff. Well, we don't do that. We'll keep their weird stuff, the weird stuff that doesn't sell as well as that, or their pale. And then all of a sudden, you're like a niche thing that, like, I don't know, every Christmas there's the Brutal Christmas brew because they've whittled it down. It doesn't matter because they own it. You know what I mean? And while business wise, yes, this is all capitalism. You can totally do this stuff. The craft beer lover, it's bizarre because you're basically removing yourself from them, the people that would buy this stuff. So, I mean, don't be wrong. If we had made the Brutal Brewery and Bev's like, hey guys, here's 30 million, and we'd be like, like I don't begrudge the people that do it by any stretch, because there's not many people that do what Sierra Nevada, Sam Adams, or Dogfish do and make a ton of. I understand that,
and isn't that kind of the American dream?
It is the American dream, but that's one conversation. The rate beer is a separate one in that, well, if you were going for unbiased opinion, even if it's not,
I agree.
Even if it is
now is
unbiased. It's perception. You guys know it is. It's all perception's reality.
Just in from Tinfoil Transfers, InBev put in a bid to buy the Brutiful Game podcast for a whole $10.
Ooh, let's hold out. Let's hold out
for 20.
Let's play the Arsenal game and let's hold this out till the last minute. If they're giving us,
I'll have an abdomen strain and then we just won't sign.
Yeah, if they're giving us till tomorrow, let's wait until like Thursday. 11:59, 58 seconds PM and call. What's what we'll do?
Is InBev in the Champions League? Should we sign for them?
It's amazing.
Well,
there's some good beer news.
Yeah, if you
Papa Ron's Big Beard, what the hell was it?
It was Papa Ron's Big Beer News.
There we go.
If you have opinions about this, hit us up.
Yeah. Do you use Rate Beer and Beer Advocate?
And are you going to stop? Are you going to continue? What's the deal?
Crazy. For me personally, I used to use Rate Beer exclusively. I just like their setup a bit better.
Yeah.
I don't use it anymore.
Dun, dun, dun.
I always go to it out of habit and go, oh, you know what? And I go to Beer Advocate because of that. So see, it's already subconsciously, it's in my brain.
Check it out.
And tonight, what did I say? I didn't give you the Rate Beer rating. I gave you the Beer Advocate rating for this.
Correct.
It's called foreshadowing.
And for all I know, the company may have said, don't put me on there too. I don't know. Like,
right.
That
no idea.
Thing, so yeah. Anyway.
Well, there you go. A bit of interesting beer news, because that's actually pretty big.
It's huge.
When you think back 10 years ago, craft beer lovers, and think about how much stick everyone gave the big three. Everyone was like, oh, that's an Anheuser-Busch product. I'm not drinking that.
What's the shock top? Are they trying to get in the game now? Like,
right, right. All that the big three couldn't do anything right, and I'm on neither side of that coin really. As long as it's good beer, I'm okay. But this is actually a pretty big thing for people who were the craft beer snob types.
Well, and actually,
and I don't mean that in a derogatory way in the snob part.
But I'd say the world's different too. Like if we all discover a new restaurant, like guys, you should check this out. No, that dude, their food's like farm to table, which is like for my mom who has allergies, she deals with food. That's huge because then I know that she can eat there because she doesn't deal with some of the additives that get at. So that's like the farm to table, the shop local, eat local, drink local. That's huge now. Yeah. So, I mean, that is a big deal. I don't think that's a snob thing anymore. I mean, yes, there's still beer snobs. There's snobs for everything. But yeah, it's past that, you know. Right. People that go to Winter Garden and go to Crooked Can, they love that they call that little place home, and their Crooked Can brewery is like their hometown brewery that's made there.
There's the pizza place, and I don't remember the names, but there are these local...
You know what's interesting?
Food spots within there, too, that people like to get a beer.
And they do local beers at the local food.
Beer, yeah.
What's cool is, I believe Ferris, she brought the Ocean Sun, or was that Ron?
I did.
Ferris brought in a couple of coasters a couple pods ago. So I'm staring at the Ocean Sun Brewing, Orlando, Florida. And what's awesome is while we're having this conversation, their logo, their slogans on the back staring me in the face. And this is a good way to end this off. So talking about drinking it local, here's Ocean Sun Brewing, brewing for pint holders, not sweating for shareholders.
Interesting.
Boom.
That's a good way to wrap everything up.
There you go. But if people would like to purchase into Beautiful Game so we have shareholders, we'd be okay with that.
The bid right now is at $10.
We're just telling you, $10.
11.
We're holding out.
11. We've already got a $10 bid.
Yeah, we got 10. Yeah,
that's basic economics.
That's true. Come on.
10, 10.25. Do I hear 10? 15?
No,
11. So this was actually way more pleasurable to talk about than what we got to talk about next, which is the U.S. men's national team.
Can I go home now?
In fairness, hold on. I'm going to try to be like I'm going to try to
be positive.
I'm going to be the glass half full guy here.
Let's talk about the first game.
Okay, the first game.
Oh, Jesus.
Well,
this is the U.S. versus
Costa Rica.
Right.
We lost 2-0. The headline for this game was, well, the positive was we've played I think a total like 8 games so far. The first 2 we know we lost with Jurgen. He got fired. Bruce came in, won the big one against Honduras, like 6-1 or something, and then won on the road or got a draw in Costa Rica maybe. This was the flop of that, and these were our 2 hardest, because Costa Rica and Honduras are the other 2 hardest teams besides Mexico in the Hex. Panama and Trinidad and Tobago round out the Hex here, or who's in the Hex. Our last 2 games, which are kind of the main going to decide where we go, is against Panama and Trinidad, both in the bottom part of the Hex. So that we had these 2 games now, kind of a good thing. Costa Rica at home, 2-0, not such a good thing. You expected better from the U.S. Getting away a draw, maybe even, I mean...
The attitude was it didn't feel like a home game, though. The Costa Rica
and that was a lot of the talk, is huge. That they played in New Jersey, I believe.
Yes.
It was like 60-40 for the Costa Ricans there, and you want to build that home field advantage. That's why every time we play Mexico in the U.S., we play them as far away from Mexico as we can in Columbus.
Yeah, you don't play the game in Texas.
Right. Now, Costa Rica, yes, I know it's not anywhere near New Jersey, but there is a very large and well-known Costa Rican population there in New Jersey. So there was a lot of questions as to why the U.S. Soccer Federation decided to play this game there.
Can I be rude?
Sure.
Play better ball, more Americans will buy tickets and come and outnumber them.
Well,
I mean, I'm not belittling the team, but that's just the truth. I mean,
and it's still not an excuse for the way they played that night.
No, and then that's terrible too. And so for the people that did show up locally, that's what they got. You know, I mean,
and it was all around just a bad performance. It was an odd.
That's kind of an insult to bad performances.
It was, it was very Arsenal-y. We had most of the possession.
Yes. Well,
and couldn't score.
And it was Arsenal in the fact that why the hell did he start some of the players that he started in this game?
This was like, I'm pretty confident Bruce had Wenger in his ear.
Bruce Wenger, why did he start this? Bruce Wenger started Tim Ream.
Hashtag Bruce Wenger.
Can we also get Arsene Arena then?
Bruce Wenger started Tim Ream in the back.
Oh, man.
With Jeff Cameron. Those two have never centered back a game since like third grade together. Or I mean, it hasn't happened. Odd pairing. It's like the Holding and the
Ox?
Koscielny.
Oh, Koscielny and Holding. Yeah.
But Koscielny is better than either of these two. But you also started Fabian Johnson on left
games,
mid thing. But Fabian Johnson's played 10 minutes so far in this season. He plays for
he's played just a bit more than Jack Wilshere was able to play last year.
Correct. Yes, like by 9 minutes more.
I guess 2 years ago. That joke doesn't work as well anymore.
But yeah, he's played 10 minutes for Werder Bremen. I think he plays for. I don't know. I remember. But why would you play him in this game? It was just a lot of questions. The starting lineup. Tim Howard played, but he's also coming off the injury. If you remember the last World Cup game, he suffered a little bit of an injury.
If Guzan was going to play a game, I don't know why Guzan played today. I would have put him in.
Not played at home
with the coast. Absolutely,
right. But
let Tim Howard rest.
Right, but like you get like Omar Gonzalez is on the bench, Kellen Acosta's on the bench, and Kellen Acosta and Bradley have paired the midfield here for a little while now, and they also help us win the Gold Cup by playing together. So just kind of some odd stuff
By the way,
here.
The Gold Cup performance where we played everybody's B and C teams looked like we played everybody's B and C teams compared when you look at these past two games of Costa Rica than Honduras. Guys, I don't know that we get the fun run we had last go round where we got all the way to Belgium in the World Cup with our squad.
I think that's too early to say. I think it's too early to say. I mean,
it's not about the guy.
This was one game.
Look, Bruce
has won 14 in a row right now.
He has.
This was odd. This was a very Jurgen Klinsmann-y type. I mean, he didn't start anybody completely out of weird positions. But if this was Jurgen with coaching this team, there'd be pitchforks and everything else just out for him. And to an extent, there kind of was. There was hashtag that said
bounce the Bruce
out and bounce the Bruce. Come on, okay, let's
arena out.
It's one game. Yes, it's at home, which sucks.
Dude, if they'd have lost today,
but Costa Rica's not a bad team.
No, but if they'd lost today against Honduras,
they're a very quality team, and that takes us on to.
But we scraped back a draw against Honduras. If they lost against Honduras, that Bruce Arena out would have started to steamroll.
Yeah,
it's also very easy for people to lose one match and then start screaming for heads to roll. And I don't know. I'm kind of two minds. He's definitely been an improvement. No, we haven't played two great games, and we still have a lot of work to do.
But the guys that are playing great and scored our tying goal today are from Klinsmann's scouting, not Bruce.
That's accurate.
Which we've
Bruce
all made that
brought
argument
in to get us into the World Cup.
And we've
right
all said
now
that.
That is still undecided. But after today's draw, in case you do not know, USA drew Honduras in Honduras 1-1. We remain in third in the table.
Wait, so who scored that one goal for us in the end?
Bobby Wood.
What is the headline title for that game of Honduras?
We have a few.
We'll hit that best one first.
Late Wood stiffens U.S. resolve in Honduras.
Hold on. So what we failed to tell you...
Bobby Wood!
What we failed to tell you is that the three of us are sitting at...
That's 2 episodes in a row.
A local beer establishment, drinking beer and...
Pearl beer.
What?
Nothing.
Pearl's beer?
That's what I thought he said. I was like, what?
What is Pearl's
What are you talking
beer?
about?
I tried to cleverly sneeze with the name of the beer. It probably didn't work too well. I'm going to have a dinosaur beer.
You have some dinosaur beer. No shots have been had in this pod.
No, none. Zero.
So we're all sitting around drinking beer and having dinner while watching this match. And then as soon as the match was done, then we started coming out with all of these headlines, essentially.
I think we were sitting there and I'm like, Bobby Wood scored the goal again. Or another Wood scored the goal again.
Because last week, our for the
Chris Wood, I think his name
had
is.
the
Yes,
late
yeah.
goal. So you had the funny headline.
And then also, I'm
And
just
then we
saying,
just snowballed.
Areola was
Yeah, we were
also.
trying to think of a good one for that.
That's, we're like
Areola
12
would
years old.
save U.S. from embarrassing result.
We're-
That was off the top of my head. But we had some other headlines for Wood if you would like me to.
Yeah,
Go for it.
This was a Blake special. Is Late Wood a good point in Honduras? Or was that?
I think that was you.
I think it was me. I think this was a Ron special. Late Wood slides in for late score.
To be fair, I
I
think
love
that was
we're
Blake.
12. I know Ferris has gotten all these wrong as far as who actually
11 and a
got
half. Okay. This last one I'm pretty sure was yours, Blake. After limp start, Late Wood scores for America.
Yes. Yes, that was. Oh, that was, I think, because we weren't smiling during the game.
No, we were not, because it started off not good.
Nope. It was a
Pretty-
very, very rough game.
Which is what you
all
which is
things
what you
being
should
said.
expect in CONCACAF. And which is what happened on Friday night.
I think
They had
Honduras
Christian
played.
Pulisic on his ass every single time.
I think Honduras played much dirtier. Look at the card accumulation. The cards were way heavier on Honduras than they were on Costa Rica.
And there was, according to
And a
USsoccer.com,
red
there was
card.
3 yellows, 2 yellows for the U.S., and then that third yellow ended up with a second for Mr. Figueroa. I'm sending him off.
I think the difference would have been that in the Costa Rica match, they weren't called. There were a lot that were not called, was the big complaint.
But there was a lot of people that pointed out a lot of the ESPN staff that were on that game pointed out that yes, a lot of them weren't called. However, why aren't we doing that to Brian Ruiz, who was their playmaker, magic starter?
Because
They were doing that to Pulisic. Why weren't we doing that to them? Why aren't we saying, you come into our house and why don't we knock him on his ass?
Because we just rolled over.
Yeah.
Well, yes. I mean, yeah.
That's
the
all
simple
we did.
answer.
And
But why didn't we do that?
I was really disappointed both last game and this one, or last match against Costa Rica and this one, Honduras, that both Jordan Morris and Pulisic spent most of the match getting mugged, tripped, pushed, shouldered, elbowed, and none of the U.S. players kind of gave it back. We all just
stand up and give somebody a
kind
little
of-
shove and just
I'm just
say F you, get off our player.
for me, it's I'm watching the U.S. men's national team play again, so zero attack. Like, there's such a toothless attack by us that, look, a point's a point. I'll take it. But this year's Bournemouth is a bad example. But last year's Bournemouth, and they're only a couple of games in. So,
This
but
year-
last year's Bournemouth, where hey,
Huddersfield.
we got promoted. We got promoted by playing attacking football. We don't care that we're the big boys. We're going to play this way. They were a blast to watch. I know you still got to get points,
Well-
but there are times that it is hard to watch this U.S. men's national team play because there is no attack going forward. It's so limp to go back to
We
our
had our
handline.
chances in the Costa Rica game. There was an early penalty shout, and we attacked more so than we did in this game. Going away and
See, but you
CONCACAF
just
and
said
going to a
that.
hostile place like Honduras, you're not really going to play that expansive style attacking, especially when you need something from the game. You don't want to open yourself up at the back and have everybody going forward.
Sure,
So-
but you need that point in this game because you pooched the Costa Rica game in America.
Right, but you can get that point other ways opposed to sending out the dogs and having an all-out attack and being expansive and opening yourself
Well,
up
if
to
we had
a
lost
fast counter.
0-2 to Costa Rica and played an attack and had to draw tonight, I would feel much better than
But
two
okay,
limp attacks
so
in a row.
We lost on Friday 0-2, and then come out all attack and lose 3-0 in Honduras.
No, you didn't follow what I just said. I would be down. I'm fine with a draw and playing conservatively in Honduras if we had made an attempt against Costa Rica. But we played Costa Rica like we were playing in Costa Rica. There was no attack. There was no attack. That's what I mean. Like, look, if we'd have played an aggressive attack and had gotten a point out of Costa Rica, what a different conversation getting a point today is. Instead of like,
we had more attack against Costa Rica than we did Honduras, I felt like.
But no ability.
No,
to
it
finish.
wasn't. No.
And it's not dangerous. And you said we had chances, and you mentioned a penalty opportunity or a potential. But that is also what bothers me. It's more, how do I phrase this? It's not about great play that creates a chance. It's like, get the ball down the pitch. We'll just lob it at the goal. With any luck, someone gets a free kick or something. We
Tony Pulis ball.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
The man's been a coach in the Premier League for several years. It works.
He's going to be our next
It's boring as
national
crap,
league
but it
coach,
works.
man. It didn't work against Costa Rica, though.
No, it did not.
It was just disheartening to watch us go out and essentially play the embodiment of Eeyore in soccer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was the worst game we've seen under the new Bruce era by far.
And I just got dealing with 2 games of Arsenal. That was not good.
Good thing we didn't record this pod on Friday night. It would have been
No, dude.
4 shots in and another.
there was
we would have
special.
had to Baker Act him and take him to the hospital.
Do you know how bad it was? There were no shots. I was just like, whatever. I was just done. Like, whatever. Orlando loses with
that's
one of
later.
the worst teams in MLS, and you're this crap with the US. I was like, man, and I'm an Arsenal fan. This sucks to be a soccer fan right now for Blake specifically. Like, this is a really crappy time.
To the credit of Bruce Wenger,
that's sticking.
there was some big changes in the Honduras game that I think we should say.
We already talked
Michael-
about Late Wood.
We did always talk about.
Goozy.
Well, Late Wood actually didn't start. He started against the Costa Rica team. He came
Yes.
off the bench in this game.
He was probably the impact player, if there was an impact
Played
player.
for 11 minutes, was the man of the match.
By far, just a nice hard result there.
I see what you did there.
But there was. Beasler started at the back instead of Tim Ream. Beasler not with Jeff Cameron, but with Omar Gonzalez, a different.
I think that was the smarter.
I think it was a smarter and probably a little bit safer. Omar Gonzalez plays in Mexico, not Honduras, obviously, but plays in hostile atmospheres a lot and is a little bit more used to that. Guzan started in goal from Howard. Howard at times in the Costa Rica game looked a little not fully fit.
His age, man.
Right.
It's taking him longer to
fit.
recover.
Bradley, of course, still started, but instead of starting Bradley with a Fabian Johnson and kind of Villafania and putting him out there on his own, he had a partner this time in Kellen Acosta.
Which I thought was a good idea.
Because those two can help protect the back four a little bit more.
Although they didn't.
For the first goal, they did not. And Omar dived in when I don't think he should have. I think he should have stayed on his feet and
This is the
offered a
week.
little bit more. Had Kyoto scored with Omar on his back and giving, just on him, you would have been like, all right, that's just a good damn goal. He went to his feet and then just kind of opened up for Kyoto just to curve it around Guzan. There was also Dempsey started this game. Dempsey was for the most part kind of forgot he was there.
He was on the field?
Exactly.
Yeah,
he kind of forgot he was there. That was kind of odd.
Dempsey is officially this moment's happening. He is transitioning into a change
Super
the
sub.
game super sub.
Super sub.
That's what he needs
Right.
to be. Yeah.
Nagby started again, which I think was good, but he played off to the left opposed to pairing with Bradley in the midfield there. He's not a center mid holding midfielder. He plays out to the left, right, so on and so forth. DeMarcus Beasley came into this game. As much as some people say he's over the hill, he's old.
He's
He's
working.
a veteran. He's solid. He's been there. Didn't have a great game, but did enough. Made a professional foul at one point and did enough. But again, you start with a little bit more. You pair him with Omar and him. It's a little bit more of a veteran players in the team at a very hostile area. And then Christian Pulisic started, and Jordan Morris started this game, which he did not the last game.
Right.
And Jordan Morris at the start of the game was bright. He made some runs. He was fighting. So a lot of Pulisic.
Who?
Shut up. I knew as soon as I said it, I'm like,
Your inability to say
Samson.
Pulisic, it just cracks me up from day one.
Pulisic, Christian P, Zuzi, and Bradley were your only, and Nagby were your only 4 starters from the last game. So the long point that I was trying to make was Bruce Wenger noticed something and kind of reacted to it and went, hey, we need to get something from this game.
And we did get a point, but
because of a sub.
To play a little, I don't know, devil's advocate's the wrong word, but lest we all forget, the pundits' heads exploding about Jurgen Klinsmann was pick your team and stick with it. And it has Bruce, or at what point will they start saying that about Bruce, or is he kind of getting slid by with that, or?
I don't think they will, because Bruce isn't playing people out of position. Jurgen would do that and play Breck Shea as a left back.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, okay. So
what?
you would have to include the out of position, which is true, but
Which was a huge thing. for him.
But the other side too was this: what team is going to play tonight? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just all over the place. And I'm just saying this: love Bruce Arena, but the dude was fired before, and to me, more than ever at this point in his tenure now, the second go around with him, he feels like the stopgap. And I'm like, are we searching for the actual U.S. men's coach replacement?
I don't think so.
Hopefully.
I don't think
I don't
we
think
are.
so.
Samuel Galati better have a short list, because as far as what we've been told, Bruce was only hired to get us into the World Cup.
Wait, but
So-
if he gets us in, they're not going to get rid of him.
Here's the fault in
don't know that.
that statement. I get you into the World Cup, then you fire me and bring in someone else for just the World Cup part.
And then that guy can't, unless that guy wins the World Cup, that guy's screwed.
Right.
Because whenever we lose, they'll go, well, what if we'd had Bruce?
So I think that was
He got you there. Why didn't you stick with him? That'll be the argument.
Well, I may be wrong. Did they say that they would get him into the World Cup or through the World Cup cycle? I don't remember which one.
into the
I don't remember.
World Cup, because we
I
were
thought they-
dangerously hanging from the cliff of not making it when
On the cliff of Klinsmann.
we're correct when that happened. So I don't know how if he gets you into the World Cup, you can him and bring in someone else.
Who the hell are you going to bring in right now?
That's not going to happen.
right.
That's just anybody who listened to that and went, "Oh, this is a good idea," is just an idiot, because that's not how that was going to go. You're not going to can this guy who's done so much work to get us into the World Cup.
Sorry, gents. I just wanted to check. Bruce Arena's contract per Fox Sports is back in November, is through the 2018 World Cup.
Okay, so it's through. Okay,
so it's
all
Okay,
right,
good.
I was mistaken.
Real,
So, yeah, that's no.
real quick, interesting thing for the DeMarcus Beasley haters. He is an interesting player. He started in 1999 in the FIFA under 17.
Pfeiffer.
I was hearing them papers.
They have Pfeifers. Under
You
17.
serious, Clark?
We always
Where's
get one.
Eddie? He eats those damn things.
He found out they were lowering cholesterol.
He always eats them Pfeiffers.
And an interesting thing is that since 1999, he is the only male American soccer player to play in 4 World Cups for the U.S.
That makes him like 75.
He's 35. But
Which we're trying to make our 8th or 9th straight World Cup in a row with this.
right.
Right now, we're looking the current table. Mexico and I believe Costa Rica are playing currently. Don't know what the current score to that one is. Not that that's necessarily going to affect anything, because they're 1 and 2 in the current hex table. Mexico on 17 points. They've already secured their spot to Russia. Costa Rica, I think, could have done it today if they had won and we had lost, but now I think they don't necessarily secure it. I think they're going to get in, but I don't believe it's necessarily secured. We are currently sitting on 3rd, tied on points with Honduras, who we just played. mainly off of goal difference. We have a +1. They have a -7. And then Panama is sitting in 5th, not in a place. It is noted that 4th place, Honduras, currently, which we could end up in, is a playoff game with the Oceanic division. So we could play a Australia, New Zealand, Japan, somebody from that. I believe Japan's already gotten in. I believe
It's
they're
just
already secured.
we just have to get in.
We have to get in third.
the sense that soccer in the U.S. needs for the U.S. to get in this year. We are at a very good momentum moving forward with soccer in America, and I'm not saying yes, you got to earn it, absolutely, but
well, you're going to earn it now.
It is going to hurt U.S. soccer if we don't get into
right. And the game that
World
we're
Cup.
going to.
That
Excuse me, here in Orlando on the 9th or something.
6th of October, I believe.
6th, way off.
It'll be Australia or Saudi Arabia that we play.
Right, if we get Australia's no pushover.
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia's not.
Saudi Arabia's beat Japan 1-0, and Japan is an automatic qualifier.
Yeah.
So,
but the game that we get to see here in Orlando on, what was the date again?
The 6th of October.
The 6th of October against Panama is now a big, big game. The next two and the last two that we play are against the bottom two, the 5th and 6th teams in Panama and Trinidad. In that order is what we also play them in. So I believe Trinidad is already
Trinidad and Tobago.
Trinidad and Tobago.
I just like saying the whole thing.
Trinidad and Tobago.
Trinidad and Tobago.
I believe is officially out of the contention, but Panama is still in it, so they will have something to fight for if they get into that 4th spot. So that draw today was a big draw on the road, regardless of what you think of how
right.
it played. It's
one
still
point
a
on the
good
road
draw
is
on the
huge.
road. Right.
Yeah, it's not a look. The 1 point on the road is huge. What's worrying is the previous game. That worries me more moving forward.
Had we come out and lost this game, which it was looking like we might, had some late would not come on, it would have been a lot more worrying. But the draw, I think, kind of eases the mind a little bit and goes, okay, we have 2 games that we should win. One's at home and then one's away at Trinidad, I believe. We should win both of those games. Should. And we'll hopefully then be sitting in 3rd and not have to qualify via a playoff.
Man, I guess that's that, isn't it?
Shall we like some late wood?
Yep. So shall we move over to the little bit of MLS news that there was?
There was only 4 games this week.
Yeah, it was just 4 games, and a lot of 4 goals scored by teams in a game. Portland Thorns beat Washington Spirit. Oh gosh, well I moved down to NWSL. Sorry.
Yes,
New England
like,
Revolution beat Orlando City 4-0.
Yep.
Chicago Fire beat Montreal Impact 1-0. FC Dallas and New York Red Bulls drew 2-2.
With a great game. That was a great game.
Great game, but you should listen to World Soccer Talk that we spoke to Chris there a while
Ferris.
back. They did a good breakdown of the in their last pod about
Derby
the ratings
and,
of that Derby game and
Right.
or
Not with the Dallas game, but the week before last.
yes,
with the
yes, I should say NYCFC, yeah, and it's an interesting look at the ratings in MLS right now.
And the Red Bulls went down to 10 men early, and
That's
did
FC Dallas. That's a good draw then.
that's an amazing draw for the Red Bulls.
And then the last game was LA Galaxy beat Colorado Rapids 3-0, both bottom of the club or bottom of the table clubs in the West.
This was also an interesting game. For some reason, Boateng has finally figured out that he can run up and down the left side without problems. The entire season, he's been turning it inside at the halfway line. This time, he's made it all the way up and down the side, created such great chances for
Alessandrini.
Yeah, thank you.
Alessandrini.
And the two of them were actually really good in this match. And I don't know where they've been.
Alessandrini's been their only shining light all year.
Correct.
That's it.
So for Boateng to come out and actually maraud up and down that left side, either Colorado's defense was just terrible on that side, or he just figured it out.
Boateng the Marauder's got a good sound to it.
I like it.
Yeah.
His PR guy should call
Quality movie.
Yeah, I'd watch that movie.
Hell yeah. This is Boateng.
I don't want to derail us too long into a conversation, but you put the sentence up or question.
Well, why don't we do this? We should all answer this in one sentence each.
You first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, Blake, what was the?
What is going on with Orlando? Our friends in our Atlanta love us talking about this. Well, we love you guys, but you're jerks, but we love you. Yeah. So what is wrong with Orlando?
It's harder than I thought.
Yeah, I thought so.
One sentence.
This guy threatens us with the one sentence, and then
Right.
he can't do it. Like,
Lack of consistency in players named in the squad.
but you mean like shifting the squad around?
Correct. There's too much shifting the squad around. I know some
A
of
lot
it's
that
due to
feels,
injury.
Yeah, not
But
intentional.
Nocerino, Carrasco are healthy. They were our center pairing at the beginning of the year when we were winning 1-0 and 2-1 and 2-0. And, they protected the back four. What happened to that? They allowed Toya and Sutter to go up and down the pitch. What happened to that?
Your turn.
All right. Oh, me. You know what? Sorry, I'm cheating. Instead of one
I
sentence,
kind of cheated there because I explained.
I'll give you like this one meme, and I'm totally paraphrasing it, but it was like this meme I saw floating around online that was the heart of our team, the reason we watch, and it had like David Villa in NYCFC. The heart of our
the Spain squad this week,
Yeah.
the first time in forever. Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him. At 35, I think the dude's phenomenal.
Then they had the heart of our team, Kaká, and then it had like the heart of our team, and I don't know if it was like Atlanta with Joseph Martinez, or I forget who the other one was. I'm probably paraphrasing. And the last one was the heart of our team, and it was the entire Seattle Sounders squad. And of course, this is made by a Sounders fan, but
It rings true.
it does ring true because you look at that is a complete team. Like that is just a very solid complete. Yes, they've had their ups and downs this year, no doubt. Any team has. But as far as a consistent unit as a team, I was like, man, there's something to be said for that. And so I don't know. There's my one sentence answer. We don't really have a team yet. We don't have a team. I know the couple that always start, but that's about it. Who else is it going to be? And it's not good.
Somebody had, I put something up on Facebook, I believe, and one of our coworkers just put underneath of what I think I put something along the lines of, Dear Orlando City,
I saw this.
watch your Orlando pride. You may learn a hell of a lot from them. And somebody had put hashtag aha out.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
so many goals.
I agree.
There's a lot of play to get to him. I realize a lot of goals,
And then he makes
Right.
silly challenges.
Pushes up too much. He
steps
tries to
up.
step in too much. And
Yep,
it's
and it gets burned every time. And for some reason, he hasn't figured that out yet. Especially in this match,
he gambles a lot.
when he went in for a sliding challenge, was 3 feet away
Wait,
and went,
yeah.
"Where'd who go?"
Oh, man.
As Kai Kamara dribbled around him and
His first freaking hat trick in the MLS. How the hell do we let that freaking wanker score a hat trick on us in the MLS? I don't give a shit if we're not in the playoffs. That's bullshit.
Ooh.
Ferris, I think. Did you have some rum?
I just got off on a. God, you mentioned that. I completely forgot he scored a first hat trick.
And it
Call somebody a wanker. I don't know the last time I've done that.
that was so disheartening watching him slide in on that challenge. Kai Kamara, cool as you like, just dribble around him, put it right in the back of the
It
net.
made us look like a bunch of 13-year-olds on the pitch.
Ferris, Ferris. We should have videoed that.
Yeah, we
That'd be
should've.
the new meme of the week.
I wasn't
the new
prepared
video of
for
the
that.
week.
I literally wasn't prepared for that.
Yeah. Sorry, Ryan. Did you give your?
No, not yet.
Give yours then before we keep talking.
Mine would be, pick your damn heads up, semicolon, do your job. That's it. That's it. Because if everybody did
Alex Morgan does her job.
their jobs, they would create some
Martha
chances.
does her job.
There would. It's incredible how many times, and I've been watching a lot of Orlando City replays. Watch, they make a pass just into the opponent's side of the field, just past halfway. Watch how many people are standing around while that one person has the ball. No one's creating chances. No one's trying to be clever. No one's trying to help them out. No one's creating an overlapping run. No one's making any run most of the time. Granted, there are a few slick runs and a few slick passes and a few slick chances. However, by and large, the team is sitting on their ass. And one of the only players that is certainly hit or miss, but one of the only players taking on defenders on a regular basis is Kaká. He's taking on 3-on-1.
He's actually, to be honest, there have some games like he's been on where you're like, well, if it hadn't been for him, then we wouldn't have had a chance on goal.
Correct.
And is it? And I'm gonna probably get blasted for this. Is it any coincidence that we don't score a single goal the game that Kyle Laren's not there and called up? I think not.
Oh no,
Kyle Laren's the only one that's really consistently put the ball in the back of the net for us. And we score 0 goals when he's not there.
Despite Rivas' speed, yeah, I would rather see Kyle Laren and Dom Dwyer up front.
Yeah, without question.
Yeah.
Rivas has amazing speed, and that is it.
Loves him some Rivas.
That is it. He has no foresight. He doesn't keep his head up and look around the field. He's a tank,
and then
ball.
Just
but now let me. Gosh, I don't. We're an hour and 15 in.
Let's move on.
So I don't want to go too long with this. But so is this a Jason Christ problem? Is this players on the pitch problem? Is this here's the $1 million question? Is this an MLS problem because our median level players are at a pay grade? No, hold on, a pay grade. That means, with the exception of teams like a Seattle that might have a good unit together, you get
Atlanta,
a couple of
brand new team.
Yes, but I got to tell you, there's a big asterisk next to Atlanta in that they have got one of the most accomplished coaches, like globally, that is coaching in the MLS.
Red Bulls. Dax away.
What do you mean? That
They
got rid of Dax. What are you saying?
Name me one person on New York Red Bulls.
Oh, well, Bradley Wright Phillips.
Name me somebody else.
Exactly.
Go, I'll wait.
Well, but this is what I'm saying. An MLS problem because median level players' pay is too low. So you get stars under the DP, like Kaká, or you get your David Villa or whomever. But if they don't have quality people to link with, what does it matter? I mean, other than getting butts and seats.
Yeah, but that's not. We have.
I don't know, dude.
We can pay. We can pay.
Not that median level player to up the.
We brought in
Dom.
We can pay.
Yeah,
we brought in. But look at Columbus Crew. I mean, you have teams that. Yes, I mean, the pay issue, that's a separate topic with the MLS. So they get paid too much, and Lord knows we can go in that with the NWSL for that.
They don't get paid too much.
No.
NWSL, that's a different
correct. No. Wait, what I mean is, I said that wrong. They don't get paid enough, but you still have teams and players playing on teams that still play hard and play with
median salary.
I don't see that.
Hold on, wait. The median salary among MLS players this year is $110,000, up not from $92,000 in 2014, up from $75,000 in 2013. It is going up. I'm just saying, if the median level players, your guys who are the meat and potatoes that are around your stars,
every club's in that boat.
No, yes. So this is why I say it loops around. People right now are like, man, forget Jason Christ, he's terrible. Or this, I'm like, guys, do you remember though the record wasn't that great under Heath either? Like. And if you look around MLS, Philly, God, you were fantastic. Where are they at this year? I think this is
parity. I mean,
well, yes, but it's parity between it's a different kind of parity of, man, there's so many good teams. No, the parity is who gets lucky this week, and there are a couple of teams that are dominant. And that's very different from when you're trying to grow a league. And if you watch La Liga or you watch Premier League, and I know we're talking about totally different sets of money, but you can even watch a Tony Pulis boring game and see quality play. That median level play. And when I was at that BlazerCon and Don Garber asked the owners at the time, the president of Orlando, Phil Rollins, his first comment, and both the owners at New England and the owners at Seattle said, yes, if you let us double the pay for median level players tomorrow, we could make this league compete with the Mexican league
we're ways
within a
off from
couple.
that.
No,
We're ways off from
no.
that.
Their argument was if we could double that salary, we could compete within a few years because we could pull that talent in, and that's right now at 110,000 a year. Look, God, is it more than I make? Absolutely, but it's very hard. Like, oh my gosh, it's been so fun watching MLS all year long. Then Premier League kicks back up, and we go back to an MLS game, and I'm like, right, I forget the inability to connect passes, to link up play, to actually do a play, that it feels like at times people just running at a goal and you hope a goal goes in. And you're like, man, ugh.
So then play the system well, which we have not done. The league is based off of basically a two-star two stars for one team is what the league has been based off of. You look at Landon Donovan, David Beckham. Look at currently Giovinco, Altidore.
Bradley. It's not like that anymore.
I don't think it is like that anymore. Yeah.
And,
not like that.
but look at Christ with NYCFC, David Villa and Frank Lampard. You have to look at Chicago.
They had
Fire.
Pirlo too.
Yeah, but NYCFC didn't do that great, and they fired Jason Christ.
Right. They didn't do it well that year. So you have to have those two stars and then build the system around them with what is currently in place. Toronto has done that. NYCFC has done that with Jack Harrison and some others. Chicago Fire has done that.
So maybe what it really means
Columbus
is
Crew has done that.
It doesn't matter that Orlando City's been around for 6-7 years. It's their just second MLS year.
Right. We get in these signings, but we don't have anything that can help our two stars. I mean, what are our two stars changed halfway through the year? But look at Larin and Kaká. What have we done to support them? We started doing that.
You know, I would
with
make an argument.
Nocerino and
I'm gonna stop you. That's not our two stars. By your comparison, David Villa and Lampard do not equal Kaká and Larin. While Larin may have broken the rookie record and maybe
so who
our
was
top
our other
scorer,
two stars?
but you just said it. That means we weren't actually playing the system. Even we had one star.
So just go.
I mean,
Kaká.
but that's.
I mean, now I would say it would be Dom and Kaká, but we started to build around them with Nocerino and Spectre. We started to,
but we
haven't done it well all the way around.
We certainly didn't start MLS that way. We did not start with a 2-star, like 1-2 punch.
Yeah, we did.
Who?
Kaká and Shea.
Yeah,
I don't know that.
You're right. As far as
that Shea was on.
Shea was a star when he came in.
He
was a star.
He is not on Kaká level.
No,
Sorry.
No, but he was a star for the MLS.
I don't know that he's a star for the MLS. No.
He was here 2 weeks ago and was beloved by the fans after scoring the goal that potentially knocked us out of the playoff run.
That doesn't make him a star.
No,
he's been in the league forever. He played at
correct.
Stoke.
He's
played
been,
at Stoke.
He's been at the league forever. But look at his performance. It hasn't been that great.
One of the stars
he's
in
actually
MLS.
doing good now, though.
Yeah, he's doing great now.
Well, it helps that he's being played at left wing opposed to left back.
Yeah. He didn't do well at Orlando City. He didn't do well in. Is he in
Orlando
Vancouver now?
City also played him
at
where
left back
Klingsman did
because,
at left back and not his position.
You know what? It doesn't matter at that point. It doesn't matter where he played. The fact is, he wasn't a standout. He was not a standout. Sorry. You can say he was all the
because the only person that got louder cheers when they announced his name was Kaká. Because we're talking about that. Are we talking about talent, star? You know what I mean? Like if you're saying a star, he was a star here. People freaked out for him.
He's a star in the MLS.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that. I don't necessarily.
MLS.
I don't think that was a star. And the only reason I don't think it was a star is because we'll cheer for freaking anybody. And then when they produce, then they're a star.
Yeah,
when they don't
when
produce,
he wasn't producing, they still would scream for Brett Shea.
There were so many people screaming to get rid of Shea. All the time.
Yeah, no, I'm not. No,
the time.
I agree. Believe me, I was one of those that was glad that he left because we offloaded massive cash because he's a star. We brought him in on huge money.
People scream to get rid
for
of
the MLS,
yeah,
and we offloaded that for Barnes, who hasn't necessarily panned out, but was half the cost. So yes, I agreed with that, but it still doesn't negate the fact that he's still a star in the MLS.
That was the idea, though. You're right. That was the 2-star. It was Shea was the other one, but he wasn't. I mean, he's no David Villa and Lampard, obviously.
No, but Lampard turned out not to be one of the stars. He didn't have that great of a time.
He
in
faded
NYC.
out.
Pirlo's not one of those great stars. I think it's. I mean, if you look at their roster now, it's Harrison and.
I would argue that
Yeah.
Pirlo probably does more behind the scenes for that team than we realize. For
Yes.
those young players. And
Yeah.
like, I think you got a lot of guys
He's
that
star with the name power.
when he's
but
gone,
on the field, he hasn't been.
there will be young players that
I
come out
think
of
he's-
NYCFC saying, I learned so much from that guy.
Yeah, I
So
think he's
you know.
more the coach on the field type.
And to be honest, that's why I want Kaká to be around. Look, his money doesn't hurt our salary cap because it's DP money. He's a good dude for these guys to learn from.
Right.
I got no problem with him being on the
And
team.
when he's out because of a red card, he goes up to the drum corps and hangs out with the
Yeah,
fans.
that's pretty cool.
all the
That's
supporters.
awesome.
That's amazing.
And I say the 2-star because you look at the teams that are in the bottom of each of the tables, and you can really only name one player from the teams. The Impact, Piatti. Name me somebody
Correct.
else.
Correct.
Well, but this is what I'm saying though.
You look at
Like-
San Jose, Wondolowski, Galaxy, Allison Strini,
Oh,
Minnesota United FC, the guy that we had,
Molino.
But you
Thank
know
you.
though, if we had gone up
Colorado Doyle. I mean, but
you're talking
others,
again,
you can name a couple players off of each team.
$100,000 median level pay. If that was $200,000, you know how much
Absolutely.
we liked
Absolutely,
Adrian
yes.
Venter. Adrian Venters would be all over the team.
Ventus.
That's we like that
The
guy.
Ventus
He
coming.
wasn't like a crazy, outstanding like superstar. He just was a great team player, and that's what people miss him. Your whole team would be full. That your starting core, at the very worst, would be Adrian Venter types like that. And I think that's what. And MLS, it's just I feel like they've got to invest in this sooner than later, or people are going to. It's easier to watch Premier League. It's easier to watch Bundesliga. And though they've got their local clubs, again, I can't recommend enough the last episode of the World Soccer Talk. They talked about coming here to an Orlando game and hanging out with supporters. And then when the game was over, they went back to hang out with them still. They were like, hey, let's throw on the, I can't remember. It was Kansas City. Let's go on the Sporting KC game. And they're like, why? They're in the Western Conference. What does it matter? We all didn't get to catch just one Premier League game today. And they cut a taped Premier League game on while hanging out. That is a problem.
Yeah, that's huge.
You and us, you go watch Man United. When that game's over, you'll watch Crystal Palace and Chelsea next. Whatever. Like you'll. That's a problem, and I feel like that does not get fixed in MLS until you're like, I mean, how many people do I know who are like, I'm a diehard Detroit Lions fan, but my gosh, was it fun to watch? As much as I hate the Cowboys, like freaking Dak was awesome to watch play as a rookie this past year, and so because they'd watch those games still. That's not happening in MLS right now, and I do think it's hard for me to sit here. I mean, yeah, you're talking about like Atlanta's coach, but I feel like it's a very different situation, and I feel like he has got a level of coaching prowess that is also in another level.
I think you're right. I think the average MLS fan is very egocentric, so they watch their team and then turn it off. And you know how I know that? We did that last year.
We did it last year because you know what? I would try, and I was like, "This is not a good game." I'm not like I had to suffer through our poor passing in person, but it was a blast and fun. Why do I want to watch this match between Philadelphia and New England?
Right.
It's
And we're not going to be Premier League, right? We're not anywhere near
No,
that. But
no.
we need to at least chip away, which is not seeming like it's happening.
well because it is just so easy for people in the U.S. to cut on the Bundesliga and the Premier League. I'm not saying we got to be as good as that
Right.
within 2 years. There's just got to be an investment. And I'm sorry, I know this went in a tangent, but I feel like I'm not making excuses for Christ or how Orlando is, but I think you're fooling yourself if you don't think this is a problem with 2/3 of the Premier League team or Premier League of MLS teams, because it's that top third that are great and they continue to be great and they keep, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's not this whole topic on itself.
we
But
get off on a lot of tangents there.
It's all right. So do we
NWSL.
need to speed through the NWSL?
yeah. Let's wrap her up because
I can do that. The
Oh.
speed lightning round.
all right. Big Papa Ron
God.
throwing into fifth gear.
That is so gross.
Do we want to shoot back and do our?
I'll tell you what. Is your beer done?
Yeah.
Okay, Ron's going to start. I'm going to go get you and me a glass so we can split this fourth beer while he starts.
Here,
Oh,
just
man.
use mine. Just run it
It's
around.
called teamwork.
Oh,
ladies and
wait, you
gentlemen.
got that glass.
Teamwork.
I'll just pour and pour.
Yeah,
And then
there you
out
go.
of the can. All right, hit it, Ron.
All right, so exciting week in the NWSL. Portland Thorn FC take on the Washington Spirit and utterly decimate them 4-0.
And with that win, they clinch a spot in the playoffs.
Correct. Christine Sinclair with two beautiful, beautiful goals in the 25th and the 81st. A nice little tag on was the Emily Sonnet goal in the 40th minute, which was pretty nice. Orlando City versus the Boston Breakers.
Orlando Pride.
I'm sorry.
Pride.
Thank you.
They're a hell of a lot better than City right now.
Thank you. You're right.
It's
By far.
It's
You're right.
obviously not.
Orlando Pride 4, Boston Breakers 2. The queen of this match has to go to one Rachel Hill, who scores in the 8th and the 15th on beautiful crosses put right in her path. Just a beautiful, beautiful goal. A ball over the top to Marta in the 67th. And then, if I get this right, or people yell at me, Ubagagu. I think that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. She puts a beautiful pinball in the 77th minute.
And she also had an assist in this game. My player of the game in this game, but Hill had an awesome game as well.
FC Kansas City 4, Sky Blue FC 1, and Sydney LaRue puts one in the gasp of stoppage time. It was brilliant. I hope she comes to Orlando City next
Groom
year.
with 2 goals in this game. She was announced NWSL Player of the Week. So
Yep,
good game
brilliant.
from her.
Chicago Red Stars 2, North Carolina Courage 1. The rare time when North Carolina Courage gets beat.
Doesn't
And
matter.
we needed Chicago to lose this
Yes,
game.
we did.
But because North Carolina already secured playoff spot.
Correct. But we needed Chicago is 3rd right now, and we're
Yeah.
4th. We needed Chicago to lose this game.
Houston-0, Seattle Reign FC 1 in a basically sleepy game
we
with the
needed the
exception of
dash to win this
Matthias's awesome 50th minute goal. But other than that, it
We
was
needed the dash to win that game as well because
Yep.
Seattle's in 5th and hot on our tails.
And we want to get in that playoff because the national championship for NWSL is here in Orlando.
Yes.
Yep.
And right now it is North Carolina, Portland both have secured spots 1 and 2. Chicago is 3rd, Orlando's 4th, Seattle's 5th, Sky Blue FC 6th, Kansas City is 7th. Those are like the notable teams. You guys can figure out who's below. Right now, Orlando Pride is on the same points as the Stars, so 3rd and 4th are both on 35th points.
35th points.
35.
It's okay. I said Wisconsin earlier.
We're both on 35 points.
Seriously, have not
The
done shots.
head-to-heads in that one is why Chicago is ahead. So we really needed Chicago to drop points there, and we would have been in 3rd. Seattle Reign's on 30 points, so they have a couple games, but big game this weekend. If it happens, we're in some hurricane warnings and watches here, supposedly during Saturdays and Sundays. Seattle Reign come here to the Pride. Massive game.
Huge.
That is 4th and 5th. If that happens, Sky Blue is sitting at 29 points, and FC Kansas City is sitting on 26 points. They can still nip in there, but it's going to be tight down the end.
It's gonna be a fun run to the final, or the final ones that are gonna be the
the
playoff.
Final 4.
So real quick, with 3 matches left in the regular season, which 2 clubs will secure playoff spots?
Chicago and Orlando. It's going to stay that way. Right as you see the table now is
I
pretty
agree
much
with
how you're
Ron.
going to see it.
Well, the 3rd and 4th may flop, but I think what you're gonna.
I agree.
I'm going to go for 3. I agree. The Pride have the hardest of schedules going forward. They
Pride-
have Seattle. They also have Portland, and they have North Carolina. That is a tough
But
run, and by far the hardest.
The
But I think
Pride
they can pull it
are
off.
peaking at the right time, and you just mentioned a couple teams that have guaranteed playoff spots. There's a chance they could be resting some people by the time they get there because it doesn't
Possibly.
matter.
Possibly. Yeah, but Seattle this week, they're not going to rest. They're going to come at us. Plus, they have Megan Rapone.
Oh, Seattle, but I'm talking about your North Carolina. Your,
Rapinoe.
Yeah, Rapino, not
I
Rapone.
corrected myself.
Good job.
Thank you. Yep. So, yeah, I agree. I think that's how
Exciting last 3 matches of the season for the NWSL. You can watch it on the Lifetime Network, and you can watch it on the Go 90 app. But tune in because, man, this soccer is exciting.
Cool thing about Orlando City.
Orlando Pride.
Orlando Pride.
You have like 5 of these bleeps. Shut up. You're killing
Orlando
my budget.
Pride this week they've scored 41 goals, the most in the NWSL. But more importantly, they have 27 assists. They lead Sky Blue FC in assists thus far. I think those 2 things tell a lot about this team.
The number of
playing
people
very, very
who
well.
can score, the number of people who create chances and create assists is top notch at Orlando Pride right now.
And we have more shots on goal than anybody as well.
Peaking at the right time. We had a rough start, but peaking at the right time.
And if you haven't seen Hill's 2 goals from this past week, it behooves you to. You're welcome.
After the cursing, Ron's going to get fancy.
It behooves you to go back and watch the Orlando Pride highlights because the cross from Morgan to Hill was textbook
in the pouring rain.
and it was brilliant. So go check it out. You're missing it.
And speaking of, you talking about hurricane craziness. Obviously, our hearts go to everybody in Houston.
Oh, absolutely.
We have so many listeners from Florida. Well, we keeping up with it. Looks like we got a lot of people across the country, which we're very thankful. But we know we got a lot of people from us all the way up to through North Carolina. Our friends going up through Atlanta. Everybody, just be careful as
safe.
we deal with whatever we're gonna do.
Because if it hits
from
Florida,
Irma.
it's going right up the coast.
Yeah.
So-
So you know, everybody's
Everybody's going to get hit with it
yeah
on the East Coast.
Stay nice and careful.
Stay frosty, my friends.
What is that from? You just sounded like the most interesting man in the
That's
world.
who it's from.
Is that it?
Is it? I don't know if he ever said.
Did he say Stay Frosty?
Right?
Yeah.
Well, I always think of aliens.
Stay frosty.
Stay frosty,
I think of Wendy's. You can get a frosty.
freaking. Oh man!
I'm going to look it up. I'm pretty sure.
I swear we all only had a beer and are splitting a fourth one amongst the three of us.
We did watch the USA game earlier, and
We did do that at a fine craft beer establishment
at Pearl of Beer.
at Pearl of Beer. Jeez.
Yeah, it's the
Okay.
most interesting man in the world.
He says stay frosty, my friend?
Yes.
I thought it was stay thirsty, my
That's what I
friends.
thought.
No, stay frosty.
No, he said stay
No,
thirsty.
thirsty.
Stay thirsty, my friends.
Yes.
And you did stay frosty.
I'm reading it right now.
you better
You
read
did
it.
the pigtail redhead from a fast food chain.
That's Wendy's would stay frosty. Have a
Right.
frosty, my friend.
Fine, you have it your way. I know the truth.
The internet's always right, though. Don't worry.
Oh my gosh! All right, I'm wrapping this up.
I just got an alert from MLS that says U.S. men's national team is still stuck on CONCACAF treadmill.
I'll be darned.
Wow,
It's only
it's
like 3
accurate.
hours
That-
late.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's,
hey.
it's accurate.
MLS has got nothing on our headline. Limp performance saved by late Wood scoring.
I don't know if that was exactly it.
I don't know if I like it. I like it.
That's got moxie.
It's got moxie, unlike our attack. All right. So, as always, you find us at our website at thebrutalgame.com. Find us on Twitter at brutalgame. Look us up on Facebook.
Untapped.
We are Untapped. We were sharing tons of the different beers we were trying today. Instagram.
Oh, yeah, don't forget the Instagram.
Facebook.
The Facebook. Look for our new fresh video on the QuickTime. That's a Venture Brother quote. It has nothing to do with us.
From like
But-
1999.
No, circa like 2003. But I felt like quoting the Monarch from the Venture Brothers.
Monarch.
I think that's got us covered.
Please,
Ferris
Lord,
is
let
like,
that be
what
it.
is happening?
Oh man.
Hey, we're allowed to do this if you're going to curse like 10 times.
Yeah. I can.
Some of these were just, come on.
You had a moment. You had a hate cake moment. It's okay, man.
I did go off in the moment.
Yeah. So try not to let
I
the
just
hate
want you
cake.
to know that I've only sworn twice on the whole pod.
Try not
since
to let
the
it
For
beginning.
you.
It's true.
I own about $200 to the swear jar.
Yeah,
over here.
Yeah, you do.
To be honest, we could have the best equipment if we would put a swear jar
Swear
out.
jar. It'd be all Ferris
Ferris
fun.
would be like, "Can you break a 20?" Like,
We're just like, just put it in.
This is how you know it's just 3 dudes sitting around having beer and
yeah,
talking the.
because this
Beautiful
is
game.
ridiculous.
I'm not trying to be anybody I'm not.
Did not try to be anybody you're not. That, but
I stutter and I curse. Boom. That's what it is.
you're like the soccer podcast version of Samuel L. Jackson.
I'm okay with that.
You know what I'm saying? That's actually pretty good, right? I would take that.
Soccer snakes on a plane. That's me right here.
Get these monkey fighting snakes off my monkey fighting plane. If you don't know what that's referring to, watch Snakes on a Plane on TNT one day. It is the best dub
100%
over
true.
ever.
It's like watching Goodfellas on AMC or
Yeah,
something.
Yeah, it's like
It's
on
awesome.
TBS.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, nothing's going to top monkey fighting. So, all right, gentlemen, as always, love the beer, cherish the game, the brutal game.
Stay frosty, my friends.
Bruce Finger.
Bruce. That makes me happy. Bye.